I started getting exposure outside of my bubble. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell this little brief story of like one of the first times. I ain't gonna say the first time, because it's two sides to even what I'm saying. I've always aspired for greatness and more. I knew at a young age I wanted more. But aspiration and exposure are two different things. Sometimes you can aspire for something in more of a fantasy type way of like, I want to go to the NBA. You don't know any of the realities associated with it. You feel me? But when you start getting exposure to stuff, that's a little different, right? So, me growing up in the inner city of Detroit, growing up more so around poverty, and I don't like if you grew up in poverty, let me just say this half of the time you're not calling it poverty. Like, as a matter of fact, I don't never remember even using the term poverty until I probably was out of poverty. And I say that to say sometimes when you kicking it about things, to some people it's gonna sound worse. So, and this is kind of the trick of the enemy sometimes. Sometimes when you are in a bad situation, it's so normal to you that none of y'all in it even look at it as bad. Like, what? This poverty? We having a great time. We like this is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And there are some aspects of that that's so true. There's a lot of good that comes from the hood. You feel what I'm saying? But there's a lot of like things that you carry into your adult life. And it may not be either until you're educated or you're exposed to something differently to even shine a light on the fact that, like, yo, that's not normal, even though it's normal in your bubble. So I'm gonna tell this little piece of this story. When I was I had just started in corporate America. So this was like I was probably I came in corporate America, I think at 24, just turning 24. So I was probably like 25, 26 when this happened. And I remember at the time, me and my wife was living in an apartment. Cool, nothing wrong with the apartment. I don't want nobody to take no offense to anything. When you talk about money and different things, everybody again on the internet take offense to everything. So y'all are my witness at this part of the video. This is gonna be like an hour video, right? But at this part, I gave the disclaimer. I'm not trying to come off no kind of way. I'm not even on that. I ain't into that. I'm trying to help people and I'm trying to help myself and people around me and think through like what's the right way to do this. So it was this dude that I work with, white guy, cool dude. I'm not gonna say his name, but like we work together. I'm like, this is my second role in corporate America. You know what I'm saying? For context, I think I'm on my ninth role in corporate America in over 17 years, right? So this was earlier in my career, some point in the first few years of my career, and we going to this we were going to this basketball game. We went to a Pistons game as a team. And so I don't know who drove, but everybody went around somebody drove around picking people up, right? And we got to this one dude house. And he lived in a house in St. Clair Shores. And St. Clair Shores is a beautiful area. You know what I'm saying? Nice kind of small town off of the water. If you're not from Michigan. So we go to St. Clair Shores, and these are a small town, small houses, but really like kind of like nice, clean area. You feel what I'm saying? So not like mansions and things like that. We pull up to my man's house. He had the brick house with the white picket fence. And I remember a dog ran out when he came. I was like, he got a dog? And it was at that moment, I kid y'all not. Before, like, it was in that moment, because me and him had the same job. He was young, just like me. Like, we both just came out of college not too long ago. And I remember like being like, in my mind, I was like, I'm supposed to have a house? Like, like he got a fence? Now, again, y'all can laugh at me, whatever. That might sound extreme to some people. My mind was at, I ain't talking about nobody else. I'm being honest about myself. Based on where my mind was at the time, an apartment just was normal. I wasn't even thinking about owning a house. It wasn't even something, I didn't even know how to own a house. Like literally, I had no idea. How do you buy a house? I was confused. Like, yo, houses cost a few $100,000. How are people getting a loan for that? And I'm barely getting approved for a loan for a $20,000 car. I was genuinely confused. I didn't understand the difference between a mortgage loan and an auto loan and credit scores and how to manage your credit. I didn't know none of that, right?